all of my money goes. Every time a bill comes, I just hate owning a home because who needs to pay $250 for electric?
Don't you cry. Remember, strong, independent, don't need no man. Going 50-50 with a man makes you his roommate, and you rather do bad all by yourself. If you decide to take on life by yourself and not have shared responsibility with a man, this is what it looks like. I don't have an issue with a woman not wanting to go 50-50. But if you decide to go down that road and do everything by yourself, you have to then deal with the consequences. We don't need to have you come online and cry about it now, because I'm pretty sure there's a guy out there that would love to come in and cut your electric bill down to $125 so you can save that money instead of paying $250 by yourself. But again, if you choose that route to where you don't want to go 50-50, then you're responsible for 100%.
Listen, I don't know why that's such a difficult thing to do. You know what I mean? You have women who boast about being independent boss chicks. They don't need a man. They can do it all by themselves. They can do bad by themselves. They can do good by themselves. They don't need a man. Men don't measure up and all of these types of things. But then when you're left to your own devices to fend for yourself and do for yourself, then this is what happens. This is what you end up seeing. And there are a multitude of videos on social media of women crying about paying all the bills and working so hard and how they're so tired, but you chose to do it by yourself. And the reason I say you chose that, because you can't fathom or understand or figure out what is needed to be done in order to work with a man. A lot of women are selfish, and I say this all the time. A lot of women are selfish and entitled, and they're by themselves because they don't want to cooperate with any man. They don't want to give the man the benefit of the doubt. They don't want to have a relationship with the man of fear of not being in control. A lot of women just want to be in control. And if they cannot control or dominate you as the man, they would prefer to be by themselves. But at the same time, they don't want to be by themselves because all of the load and all of the responsibility is on them. There's no shared responsibilities, all on them. And when it gets difficult, then they're crying and breaking down because they don't know what to do, and it's hard, and they have to just deal with it because men aren't coming to your rescue, especially when you're uncooperative. You don't know how to work with a man. You don't know how to be unselfish. You want to be entitled and you want to control the narrative, but you want a man to come in and pay all the bills and do the most, but he doesn't have a say. You want to be the dominant force. And that is the problem with modern relationships in this modern day and age. Women want traditional men, but they want to be modern. They don't want a man to tell them what to do. They don't want a man to guide them, lead them, tell them anything. They think that they know best because they went to college. And because they went to college and that degree, swells their head up and make them think that they're the best thing since sliced bread, there's no way a man in this modern society could lead a woman, could tell her anything because she knows it all. And her degree emphasizes the fact that she knows what she's talking about. It validates her. It makes her believe that everything that she believes is right. And so when you pair that with the man trying to establish a relationship, it's never going to work. This is why relationships fail. This is why women leave. This is why women are mostly by themselves. And they want men because they keep having babies with them. They keep making babies. They keep establishing relationships and then walking away because they don't know what to do. If it's not all about them and it is not about them controlling the situation, controlling the narrative, it feels out of place. It feels uncomfortable. It doesn't feel right because that's all they know. That's all they know. But a lot of women are choosing to be by themselves before they incorporate a man, because who needs a man? And then when you realize where a man will be helpful in more ways than one, but you don't. It's like they want a man, but they want him on their terms. They want a man, but they don't want the relationship. They don't want to go through the necessary steps and what it would take to build and establish a relationship, but they want the financial aspect of the man. They want the man to come in and pay the bills, and they want to be able to do what they want to do. So I just think, a lot of women like to, they want this independent lifestyle, but they can't really afford it. They really can't. And then they may think that they can, but then when the going gets, tough and things start to look, a little shaky, they start breaking down and crashing out and crying because they're like, okay, what am I going to do? You don't know what to do. But this is where you having a companionship, a husband, having that support there, that's when that comes in handy. Money goes up, money goes down. But this is why you plan, you have your stable foundation to where you guys are building together. And that way you build for, and you save and do whatever you need to do for a rainy day. That way you'll always be protected. But a lot of times women don't think like that. They just think, hey, I made it, I can spend it how I want. And then, and then it gets out of hand, and then you're left to your own devices. And now you mad. Now you need a man to come in and give you a soft girl life when you couldn't even give yourself a soft girl life. They don't want to do 50-50. What am I, a roommate? But when you gotta pay 100% of it all, you ain't happy with that either. Because they want a man to come in and pay it all. And what incentive would any man have to come in and pay all your bills and he have his responsibilities and his bills as well? That just doesn't make any sense. And any man who is thinking that any man going out trying to do that, you're setting yourself up for failure. So they're looking for a fool to come in and take care of everything so they can get their things together and they can have this life of leisure and shop and do what they want without having to worry about the responsibilities of it all. They want to leave that to you. And then they want to offer you some leftover cooch, and you're supposed to be happy with that. Some ran through cooch. Oh, you just take that, I'll get that to you, and I can just do what I want to do. And because they're not getting that, they're breaking down and crashing out. Because a lot of these women thought, oh, I'm gonna go to school, get my education, get my career, whatever, and then I'm gonna get the man. And then I'm gonna get a man, a high value man at that, to come in and he gonna pay all the bills. I'm gonna get the house, I'm gonna get my dream car, and then I'm gonna get a man who's gonna come in and pay it all. He gonna take care of it all, and I can just live a life of leisure because that's what a husband is supposed to do. I'm gonna get a husband, he gonna come in, he ain't gonna want me to do nothing. He gonna just take care of me just because. And that's the dream and that's the goal. And when they don't get that dream or that goal, they crash out and mad and blaming men. So once again, I think it's a selfish nature of a lot of women, not all, but a lot of women. And this is why a lot of them are single. When women make the money, they're entitled to keep it. When men go out and make money, they're expected to provide for a family and do the most. You want the man to steadily be traditional and you could just be modern and do what you want. That's why it's not working. These women are boss chicks, but they can't maintain their boss chick status. So listen, I'm gonna leave it here. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments of this particular video. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that bell to be notified when I upload new content. Chime in. Let's keep the conversation going. I want to hear your thoughts on this video. Let me know what you think, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.